at the same time, if you in the trenches, you struggling and all this types of things, that's probably a marker that you wasted time in the past.
Word.
And and you could have been working real hard and still. You taught me this. You could be working really hard at something, but still wasting your time.
That's a fact. That's why I'm like, I don't know if it's a luxury because it's a finite resource. That's what I think time is. Like,
It's definitely finite, but it's not none of it is promised.
word.
Like we put time on credit a lot.
1000%. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get to it next week.
Yo, hey man, do me a favor, right?
Yo, what's good, man? It's Rich. Stay Rich in Spirit podcast. I got my boy Laemy Darisme with me today, man.
What's good? What's good?
Hey, this guy right here, like, probably one of the most influential people I know. Just for what he's done for me in my life and my career. I really can't. I really can't even quantify like the value you added, especially to my brand, not just the visuals and things like that, but the whole conceptualization of what I was trying to do really played a pivotal role in helping me bring that into fruition, you know.
That's a very beautiful sentiment.
You know, I gotta get you back, man. You said some heartwarming things at the art exhibit, you know, the other day that you guys put on, which was wonderful, by the way.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
But Laemy, what's good, Brody? How you feeling?
Man, feeling good. Good to be here, man. This is a long time coming. We've been talking about doing this for like damn near 4 years now.
Word. Honestly, I don't even know what we was going to do today because I know, I do the Stay Rich and podcast, but we got something
Word,
brewing on your end too. So
word. I mean, I think this is the introductory because our relationship expands so vast. Like, there's so many different touch points. So I think this is just about like putting the rep in and just being like, all right, this is us.
Yeah, I can respect that. I can respect that, man. Bro, it's been a crazy journey, man. Like,
Word. I mean, I guess maybe that's where we start. I think we just start with how we met each other and then see how the conversation spirals from there.
word. So shout out to Nouvelle.
Shout out to Valley.
And Nouvelle is a R&B artist from the DMV, and I went to college with Nouvelle, and Nouvelle is also a Q, and
They some all love.
yeah, I got nothing but love for my boys, man. We was out Miami, and we had this crazy condo in Miami, and they had a crazy condo in Miami. All of the people from my school and that were Q's had a little big ass condo. Like, I can't even explain that joint. Like, I never seen nothing like that ever in my life. But it was really cool. You know, we was partying. Them niggas was like on top of Fat Tuesdays.
Pure debauchery. That's what it is.
It was pure debauchery. So I actually meet you out there.
Yeah.
Memorial Day, classic Memorial Day.
Yeah, Miami Beach Memorial Day.
Miami Beach Memorial Day. They don't, but
they don't do it like that no more.
I mean, cancel culture being what it is. I think it's for the best, man.
No, that's a fact.
I might be president one day.
Hey, man, two more of those, you wouldn't see me here. Like, I probably have 3 kids and just be trying to figure it out somewhere.
Word
on the run.
So I think at that point he told me like, yo, this my folks. You know, he a graphic designer. Y'all should link when y'all get back home. I think he said something like that.
Nah, I mean, honestly, it's layered because that was the time we decided we was gonna fuck with each other. But we had met back in the group me days, and this is gonna sound I don't know if niggas
I
know
always
what
forget
group
this
me.
part. Yeah.
The group me days.
Shout out to Group Me. Group Me is an app that got
Full of
really
debauchery.
popular. That's full of debauchery. It got really popular like pre-COVID, and it's like groups, and then they start creating themed groups, and
Yeah.
it was crazy. But could continue.
So and back in the day, it would be like, yo, I just joined this group me, and then you just add your folks, you add your mans, you add your niggas in there, and it was just mayhem, right?
Yeah.
So like, we got added to one random DMV group me where everyone goes straight. What ends up happening is like you swipe to see the pictures of like everyone in the group me, and then you just choose up. So you just throw some bait out there, see who like bites, and then boom, shooting. But what
Got
was so
interruption.
crazy was like, all right, everyone's shooting, I'm shooting, you shooting, but out of nowhere, there was like something to the effects of networking where you're just like, yo, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm working on this, and I'm looking for like designers, this, that. You just was like a list of people you're looking for.
That's what I did.
Yeah, bro. It was kind of
That's not what people did on Group Me,
That's
y'all.
not what people did on Group Me.
That is not what people did on Group Me. Like,
That's not what people did on Group Me.
That sound like me, bro. Like I used that joint like LinkedIn. Like, yo, what the fuck y'all doing here, man?
After you got all your shots off, after it was just like, all right, well, if this chat's gonna be here, might as well just see what's up.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh yeah, bro, I'll be doing shit. And then it was like, we deemed each other, exchanged conversation, but nothing really came of it.
And then we went to Miami after that,
bro. And then before Miami, Nouvelle gets a grill, and I'm like, bro, I'm just getting to bread at that time.
Hold on, so that was when I came out to the spot out Maryland.
Yeah.
To that house out Maryland.
Word.
To drop off Vale's set.
Nah, so Vel already had the set, and I said, bro, I need a set too. And he was just like, yeah, you gotta fuck with my boy. This is my man. He's about to hook you up. So then I'm like, yeah, I need a set. And so then I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna throw a house party. So fuck it, come to the house party so you can mold me up. So we throw this house party. The joint was a fluke house party, but it's whatever. We throw this house party, and then you pull up.
How far you've come.
For real. We throw this house party. You pull up to mold me, and then we hop in your car just because, like, for whatever reason. I'm trying to remember what the reason was, but we just ended up talking. Like, we just ended up like, yo. And I was saying to you, it's funny. I always remember this because it sounds crazy. I was like, yo, I think I'm gonna start rapping. I think I'm gonna start making music. And he was like, I think you should do that, bro.
Yeah, if I get,
which is consistent with you. But he was like, but then we really talked. I was like, bro, I don't think I can do it because of X, Y, and Z. And I think all those things kind of panned out way life was supposed to. Like, I just felt like my power was better behind the scenes than being in front of it. Like, I feel like that's where I truly could shine. But I felt like I had all the tools to become an amazing artist. But it's not because I wanted to rap. I just felt like I had the tools. And someone's got to do it, if not me. And we just had this conversation. You told me the book you was writing up, and you was talking about like the concept of the brothers within the book. And then you were like, hey, bro, I need you to design my book cover. I was like, yeah, bro, whatever you need. We're locked in. We've been talking we have a whole house party going on, and I've been in your car talking for an hour about rapping, dreaming out loud, and just fuck it, we cool.
That's real.
And then like months go by, and you just call me randomly, and I'm like, all right,
hey, this so me.
I'm like, all right, well, I already, me and you was already cool. And then you was just like, hey, bro, I need you. I was like, I mean, say less. Like, it wasn't even, I didn't even question like what you need me for. He's like, nah, bro, I really need you. I was like, all right, bro, whatever you need, I'm with the shits. And you're like, yeah, nah. Like, bro,
I need some assistance.
I need to get busy. I got a whole plan. I really see myself going to the next level, and I can't go there without you. And I was like, bro, I'm there with you. Whatever you want to do, I believe in it. Let's do it. And then we re-meet in Miami Or matter of fact,
No,
no,
that's
no, no.
after Miami.
Yeah, that matter of fact, that is after I no, we meet after I get my girls, we meet in Miami, and then the energy was real. It was like, all right, it was like an exchange of like,
Yeah.
okay, I fuck with you. Like, you don't look like a weirdo. You look like you actually say you are who you say you are. And then months later after Miami is when I get the call, like, yeah, all right, bro.
Yeah, man. Like I remember where I was at, just mentally at that time. Like I had I had just so I got into jewelry as a buyer of scrap gold, silver, diamonds, and stuff like that. So the police in Baltimore was really on my back. They was really
Mm-hmm.
trying to say that I was like the number one nigga cleaning money in Baltimore type vibes, like or supporting like the stolen jewelry enterprise. I wasn't at all. Like that was the firm. Like anybody who knows me, that's not. But I'm 23 and I'm buying $20,000 of gold a week, like off the
Word.
streets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was it was a and then I was still in school, broke my leg, rehab from the leg, said I got banned from buying gold in Baltimore. So I'm like, damn, what the fuck I'm gonna do? And I started Rich Grills, which was something I learned, like, and I got introduced to making jewelry, and I had already had experience in business and social media businesses and stuff like that. But I knew that with a brand comes branding.
Word, word.
You know, everybody can have a brand, but how are you branding it? And I knew that was a severe weakness if I wanted to get to where I wanted to go.
Word.
Like a brand can go anywhere. A brand can get you in rooms that your name and face could never get you to.
Facts.
Like we all know Coca-Cola, but we don't know who the CEO of Coca-Cola is.
Word.
You know, so I started seeing I started seeing some of the stuff you was doing. And you know, it's kind of like when you buy a new car and you start like seeing the car everywhere.
Yeah,
Like it was
yeah.
one of the situations where I became aware of who you are, and I started realizing, like, dang, like we had already crossed paths like mad times already, you know, just off of the like-minded people we both knew. It still be crazy
Yeah, yeah.
like that we be both knowing like really good people in
Facts,
the
facts.
world, and we locked in, bro, and like them design meetings,
Bruh.
them
Word.
them branding meetings, bro, like
Yeah, man.
dog, like that was crazy, bro.
Nah, but I really appreciate you because I mean, like, um, as much as you were like seeking my perspective and seeking me as like a creative partner, I was still, as much as I had done in the like done real work, I was still in a place where I was proving myself too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I credit our partnership a lot because it gave me a lot of confidence in the sense of like, you were someone that was like, all right, if it comes from your mouth, if you say this is what we doing, this is what we doing. You would put like real money behind it. So it would be a situation where I was like, oh, I can't just like guess around it. I gotta really be intentional with what we're crafting and what we're thinking. It can't be just pure feelings. It had to be like, I really had to understand what you were trying to do, and we would go back and forth. Like, I would come from a very like corporate creative background of like, how do we scale things? That's always where I came from. How to scale. I've always worked on big things, but you were such a community driven person, brand. It was always about reflecting the people, not necessarily about not selling something, but being a part of something. And so the work that we did and being able to see in real time, like before I even understood A/B testing, we were doing A/B testing. We were doing all types of like product research. We would put out a design, see if it worked, see what didn't work. We did like membership cards. We did all types of ideas that were like before those ideas were really in vogue. Like some of the things we were doing are now the kind of the standard now. And we were doing it just off of like, hey, I think this is where we're going, and you were like, I can see the vision. I'm gonna put my money up.
Yeah, but it was easy because like you had that corporate creative background. So like, of course, like, you're a creative person, like you're a great designer, but you know me, I'm not the type of person that's like, hey bro, I need a design for this. Like
Right.
I'm like, yo, I'm thinking this and I'm thinking that and I'm thinking that. But again, I had no corporate experience. I've always been an entrepreneur. I've been a pretty good entrepreneur,
For sure.
but it was always like word of mouth type of businesses.
Word.
Like I'm like, I'm learning from you. How does a corporation approach launching a product?
Word.
Like, how does a corporation launch, you know, uh, diving into a new segment in their industry?
Word.
Like because another thing about my brand is that it's always been multifaceted. Our niche is selling teeth, but we also have jewelry, and we also have custom jewelry, and we also have clothes, and we also have home decor, and we
Word.
you know what I'm saying, like it fractions off, and we have the podcast. It's like,
And that doesn't even touch in you as an individual and you speaking engagements and just you becoming a brand within itself. Like
yeah,
Rich Grills is a brand, but you are a product of Rich Grills.
yeah, real talk. And that's was a struggle I always had between like the brand I built and also like my personal pursuits as an individual.
Word.
Like I always have to weigh the two because Rich Grills is very demanding. You know what I mean? It demands a lot of my time. It demands a lot of my attention. And like if I make a mistake in my personal life, like 9 times out of 10, it doesn't really affect anybody else.
Mm.
But when I make a mistake in the Rich Grills world, it's like somebody's mad at me.
Mm.
Somebody's, wants to write. Like I made a girl's grill in white gold instead of yellow gold the other day.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like she got so angry. She was so mad at me. Like, but like as much as I could say sorry, I made a mistake.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
For sure.
and the thing about entrepreneurship that's different than I would say like, having a 9 to 5 is like at work, like I can make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it's okay. We'll use this as a teaching lesson. You know
For
what I'm
sure.
saying? But when you're an entrepreneur, you make a mistake, then you're losing the whole day sometimes. Like that could be the project I worked on for that day.
I mean, day is putting it lightly. That can really change the positioning of your whole year, depending on the
Depending
product.
on the product, depending on the client, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And depending like how difficult the task was. Like people pay entrepreneurs to make it look easy.
No, that's a fact. I mean, and even just like the product aside, the mental space of your relationship with failure or what is perceived to be failure, that in itself can really derail your trajectory. So
Real talk. But then you have to deal with everybody else, how everybody else deals with failure.
true.
Because I've messed up and I've had clients who were super patient
Mm-hmm.
and it ended up working out perfect.
Word.
But a lot of times, sometimes it's like you have people who go shopping for a Ferrari
Word.
and understand that you can order this Ferrari today and you'll get it maybe 6 months,
Facts.
maybe
Yeah.
12 months.
Word.
You can order that Cybertruck, you'll get it in like
Shit, I'm still waiting on my Yeezy merch, so I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Oh, but when you shopping for stuff of that cloth, it's expected to come with it.
Word.
But if I'm at that used car lot, I'm leaving out today
True.
with a car,
Word.
and it better run.
Word.
And it better not break down in 7 days.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was one thing early I was real intentional on. It's like, bro, I do not want to be a used car salesman. Like, I don't. Like, that is not where I'm trying to take it. Like, I'm trying to take it to a place where people pay me to get it right.
Word.
you pay me to get it right, not to do it as quickly as I possibly can, but they pay me to take my time, be detail oriented, and get it right. Like time is a luxury.
For sure.
It's not a. It's not an. I don't like when the time is money thing.
I, yeah, I hear you on that.
It's a luxury. It's a luxury.
Yeah, I'm not gonna push back on that, but I have thoughts.
You should.
I mean, it's a luxury to those who have, but to those who don't, it's I don't know. I'm struggling on the word. That's why I kind of didn't want to push back. But like, bro, when you in the trenches and you haven't really established much for yourself, you racing against the clock. Even though it's crazy because you kind of have the most time that because there's no expectations, but it don't feel like a luxury because that time needs to be put towards something in order for you to at least be able to move forward. It's not as much of a luxury. Yeah, I don't see it as a luxury until you're in a space where you know you don't have much of it.
But at the same time, if you in the trenches, you struggling and all these types of things, that's probably a marker that you wasted time in the past.
Word.
And you could have been working real hard and still. You taught me this. You could be working really hard at something, but still wasting your time.
That's a fact. That's why I'm like I don't know if it's a luxury because it's a finite resource. That's what I think time is. Like
It's definitely finite, but it's not none of it is promised.
word.
Like we put time on credit a lot.
1000%. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get to it next week.
Yeah. Speaking of like health, right? That's dealing with health is putting time on credit.
Yeah, I'm a January 1st. I'm back in the gym.
Yeah, my diet is gonna start Monday. You know, what I mean? Yeah, like I get it, but that's why I don't know. I mean, I understand what you mean by calling it a luxury for sure. I get it. It's like, but
Like, damn, I woke up.
yeah, I guess that's what because it's such a it's a necessary resource. Of to me, it can't be a luxury. Like you need time and time managed unwell is like the worst thing that can happen to you.
But if it's being managed unwell, is it time that what you need? Like,
Word.
you,
If it's being managed unwell, you need more time.
like you just kind of like seeing somebody show up with a Louis bag, but on the metro in a rural area, like you're focused on the wrong things. Like,
Man, I hate that. I know I hate that people say that about that situation. Cause to me, because time is so precious, right? We knowing that time so to your point, that time we use time on credit, right? I may not come into this Louis bag 5 years from now when I could probably afford it. But I can get this Louis bag now and use that as motivation to make sure I can go get nice things because this is going to make me feel good about myself and I can use that as momentum forward because usually when you have nice things when you're not in a position to have nice things it's because that nice thing is fueling something that you're lacking.
but that's why it gets back to time because why don't you feel good? Like, like
sure.
you know what I'm saying? Like we talk about this thing that we need to make us feel good, but we're not asking ourselves why don't we don't feel bad because we don't have the Louis bag. You know what I'm saying? We're not lacking because we don't have time. We have time. We just don't know how to use it because it's a luxurious product. Like it's not just it's intricate. You know what I'm saying? You have to build habits. You have to build routines. You have to strategize. You have to plan on how you're going to pay your time back that you loaned.
Nah, you know what? I see time almost like water. Like it's not as luxury. It's not as delicate or this reverent thing. It's this thing that's ever present. But you know, there's clean water, there's dirty water, there's water that runs your. You know, some people have well water that's running their house, and so on and so forth. I think time is something that we have in abundance, obviously, but the quality of time does matter, and that's where I think it's not necessarily that it's like a luxury. I think it's only a luxury, just like having alkaline water is a luxury, but we need water, period. So I think that's where I kind of am like, yeah, I understand the value, like having access to like really good premium water for hydration's sake,
Yes.
and filling your body. That's a luxury, but you need water, and your relationship with water is going just has to exist regardless of whether you're going to interact with it or not.
1,000%. One thousand
And that's what
percent.
I think time is. It's like time is not a luxury. Like every if something that everyone has cannot be a luxury because
But something that everyone wishes they have more of can be
fair quality time, I guess.
quality time, like, or just even more time. Period.
That's
Like
true.
more time with our loved ones. You know what I'm
Or
saying? Like even now, like uh,
which brings me, sorry, what it brings me back to that whole Louis bag thing, right? Like we are in this capitalist society that really pushes us to be ambitious, and it pushes us to seek more and achieve more, and it pushes us further from what I think is like the essentials to life, right? Like when you have a kid, one thing that everyone says is like, man, it re it shifts your priorities, right? Like it makes things simpler. You see what really matters in this world, right? Um, but as someone who's a recent father, what I've learned to see is that like you look at your child and you realize that your child needs very little, but your energy and effort, right? Your time, right? And I relate that back to the Louis bag because the person who's more present enough to buy the Louis bag is someone who's very self-aware with how much time that they don't have, so they much rather be happy in the present. And I feel like we're often um too focused on the future to really appreciate what the present has to offer. Now, granted, I do understand the backside of that is like, well, if you're too caught up in the present, you're not setting yourself up for success down the line. But like, time is that we don't know what time we actually do have.
but time. My favorite articulation of time comes from John M. Beatty, where he talks about the African concept of time. And in his conception, there were no cultures that have a future, like a word for future in their time.
Hmm.
Like he studied this one culture. I want to say it was the Ga or the Akan, and it's two time periods. You have the Sasa period, which is right now, and then you have the Zamani. The Zamani is the fleeting now and the distant past. So like 2 moments ago, like the
Mm-hmm.
minute 5 of our conversation is automatically in the Zamani.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like the things we do right now instantly go into the past.
Facts.
So the things we do now tell us more about the past than they do about the future.
Mm-hmm.
Is a concept, right? So when we think about that, and the Sasa period is interesting. It's interesting you bring up children because the Sasa period is known to be complete once someone has a child. Your Sasa period is complete. Like you have now met the requirements to become an elder and an ancestor. Like you couldn't
Mm-hmm.
become an ancestor if you didn't have kids.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like all of these things is like part of that tradition. But like what does that say of like in a world where you don't have things that you need, like
Mm-hmm.
in a world where you're not in the position that you want to be, that the thing that makes you feel good is something you can't afford, that has nothing to do with your upbringing, like that has nothing to do with like reconnecting you with the past,
Mm-hmm.
like that has nothing to do with improving your lot. You just want something to make you feel. It's a drug.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a lot of people addicted to the. I mean, to a large extent, I'm addicted to a lot of these drugs too. I'm getting better recently. Like recently, I done got a little frugal, but like that get me back to just the lessons I've learned in business though. Like, cause you get older and older, and you get wiser and wiser,
For sure.
and the more you do something, the better you get at it. Building my brand, it's like I have a list of things I need to buy, like expensive things that I need to buy, like to achieve my goal. Like
Mm-hmm.
I set the goal, I realized all of the things I need to do to achieve this goal, all of the resources, all of the tools I need to manifest this goal. So when people are reaching out to me to spend money on this thing or spend money on that thing, like even if I agree to it, as soon as I finish up, I'm like, dang, I could have bought me that, but I could have bought me this, because now that thing I did is now in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it's now in the past, and it's not impacting my now. Like what can I do right now to influence my next now? Like how can I set up my next moment of life? Like instead of thinking about the future and taking, I'm treating it like I'm debiting time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I'm not trying to put time on credit no more. Like I'm not trying to forecast things further than I'm 100% sure that I'm even gonna be there to experience. You know what I'm saying?
For
When I
sure.
talk about paying back time, like
Yeah.
paying back time is also like paying back promises. Like you promised, you leased your time out to something. You know what I'm saying? You signed a contract for something, 5-year contract, 4-year contract. You know what I'm saying? 3-year contract. Like you have to live for the entirety of the life of that contract to fulfill it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's a beautiful analogy, to be honest. Like, I think it's a very profound way to look at time. And it's funny how much you are like, I don't like time is money, but the best equating analogy is how to like your time on debit and your time on credit.
real talk. I mean, I agree. Like, because I mean, I don't like time as money. I don't like time as currency. Because like I said, like you said, then it's more like water. You know what I mean? Like you got dirty water, you got clean water. Time is always clean. Like
Yeah.
if you got some time, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
oh,
what you do at the time. Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at that.
you could dirty that time up.
But even if you dirty that time up, I don't think you can actually dirty. Like, even if you were like, I commit a crime and got caught for the crime, like, yeah, that's dirty time because you've done fucked up. But at the end of the day, there's something to be gained from that experience. So is it like, I don't know.
As long as you have time to gain it. Most
Fair.
niggas die before they can learn a lesson.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah.
Like
No, for real. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, when you think about health, right? Like the
health is
reason
real, man.
people often get into positions where they wish they could have done things differently.
Facts. And the world got to live with what they already did.
Yeah.
You know, the people who use their time wisely and didn't put off making things right until later end up being the people with a legacy, where you don't necessarily have to manifest your whole dream to live your dream. Like I
But
lived the life manifesting my dream. Even if the dream wasn't manifested, I still lived out my dreams.
yeah, no, I that's something I super relate with, but I just find myself often asking myself, what is the value of living this life that you are building for something that you don't have access to? Obviously, it's a very selfless decision to build a legacy, but like I almost feel like it's a disservice to the gift that I've been given, which is life. Like part of what I'm supposed to be doing is being present and appreciating what I have and just being super focused on making sure that I'm making the most out of this. Like we said, just like, or like you were alluding to, there's no future. There's just what you're living and that has become the past.
Yeah, but I genuinely think we get that misconstrued. I think we have a very selfish interpretation of what life is about.
That's fair.
I think we were born to fulfill a purpose in our community. Like, I think we were born to fill a void. And instead of being able to live in our purpose and figure out the void that we were specifically designed to fill, we're often pushed to figure out a way to make a living. Like, so I've spent my entire life trying to make a living, going to school 8 hours a day, going studying for another 2 hours a day, getting this degree, getting the next degree, getting this certification, you know what I mean, getting this job, finishing this project, doing all of these things for other people who are feeling the people who the people who invested in our time, the people who bought our time are using our time so that they can fulfill the purpose that they were supposed to fill in their community. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so like we never get the opportunity to really like fill the void of our community. And then the flip side is like, okay, we'll just become an entrepreneur. Like, you still have to make a living. So you can create this community organization all you want to, but if you don't make something of it, you know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna be making GoFundmes.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a tough conundrum we find ourselves just existing in a society like this where we're so pressured to make a living that we can't live life.
Word. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For
Like,
sure. Yeah.
you know how many rich people that I know like literally can't speak to their children throughout the day?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of, we know how many entrepreneurs I know that have been working nonstop for years.
I mean, I have to check myself really regularly, right? Like I've been something I've been saying as of late is like, I'm on this path to greatness, right? And I've been saying that to a very select few people, just really taking inventory of like I have the potential to move mountains, right? But the more I double down on that concept, the more I realize that I'm sacrificing on like the more I deposit into the quote unquote greatness is less that I'm taking out of being able to deposit into spending time with my child or
Mm.
spending time with my mom or my wife or my brother or my sister or fucking read a book. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different things that I could be using with my time, but this path to accomplishing great things and having a great name and becoming a great man, um I use those words like the word great because that has like historical value, in older times.
I've been trying to battle this joint all day.
Nah, it's whooping your ass though.
It's fucking me up.
But like a term that was used in like feudal Japan was like that you have a good man, but your good man needs to become a great man. And
Yeah.
that was making the sacrifice to become something that was a part of the greater the greater hierarchy.
Yeah, the greater good. I
Yeah.
say contributing to the collective consciousness
Word.
of your community. Like, I want to add on to what should be known about our people.
Exactly. And I feel like I'm on this path that will allow me to do such. But then it gets tricky because there are times where, like, you know, that
I
I
mean,
gotta
your
say no
children
to
still need
something
to learn how to become great too.
for
And they
sure.
can't learn how to become great from someone who hasn't walked in those shoes. Like, so on one end, you're still working to become a greater father. You know what I mean?
Word. Yeah, yeah.
Like I think my parents are amazing, like top flight, But I got to a certain point in my life where I was like, damn, I'm on my own now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they never walked these waters. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, they tell me but they still tell me things that I could use navigating this new world, but they speaking a whole nother language here. Like,
For real. Yeah. Yeah.
they speaking a whole nother language. So it's like, but then I think about, in the event that I have children, and I'm like, wait till they hit these waters. We going what?
That's a fact. I mean, there's merit to what you're saying because now that you've walked those waters, you essentially become like a lighthouse. You become.
I knew you was gonna go there. This guy in his
You
lighthouse.
set it up.
Man.
You set it up, so I had to go there. Like,
you the lighthouse guy. I'm the compass guy.
oh, then I gotta hear the compass because we never talked about that before. I gotta hear the compass analogy.
Yeah, man. This guy. What's his name? Snaps. It's escaping me right now. This guy. He got this company called Third Eye Pendants. Leno is his name. He makes these super cool pendants, and one of my boys got a pendant, and he normally uses like this little bronze amulet that he puts this eye that has like amethyst and stuff on it. And I made one out of 18 karat gold. I remade it for my boy. Took the eye and put it on 18 karat gold. Mounted it on there, beautiful. And it's like a compass type of mounting on it. And he comes into the shop occasionally, and he never wears a watch. He wears a compass.
Interesting.
And my boy LJ said, "Yo, why you wear a compass and not a watch?" He looks at us and says, "Because direction is more important than time."
Hey, I know your mans might be seeing this, right? And I don't mean to like laugh at the concept because I'm sure there's a greater meaning to sink my teeth in. But shit like that be sounding pretentious, bro. Shit like that be sounding like I'm not gonna walk around with a compass. Cause like, are you using that compass? Like, unless he's legitimately like traveling on foot using that compass, or in the whip using that compass.
Yeah.
I would really hate to hear someone say that. Like, I'd probably be like, "Hey, yo, fuck you, dog."
Nah, that's real, man. But it's so crazy. It is so crazy you say that, bro. Because like I started coming across things that kind of validated what he said. Like one thing I read is that this is just random, but it's my show. I ain't making this for y'all. Like I'm gonna listen to this myself. Like, but like I'm coming across some things like that like interesting. And it's really made me change my crib, all that. Like one thing is when you lay down, your head should always be pointing north.
Why?
Like it's something about us being electromagnetic beings and north and south and all this type of stuff, and it like actually has effects on the body. Like
I won't deny it because I mean, look, I'm Haitian, so there's a lot of shit that I believe that most people don't believe. And at the end of the day, like, I mean, who am I to speak? I don't even know what direction is north. If you told me to go outside and you asked me point north,
it's so crazy.
I would not know.
I put the like this shit impacted me so much,
This
bro.
nigga said, "I'm gonna do both of them. Watch me."
I said, "Oh, Both of them. Combination.
I'm gonna have the compass and
And the
time.
watch, bro. I
So-
always know where north and south
Word.
is.
So if anything, I would love to be like, so why can't you wear both? Why don't you have both?
That's real. That's real.
I just feel like,
I mean, watches come from compasses, though.
no, for sure. I understand that. So to me, it's like it's such a thing of signaling. It's such a thing to be like, this is my identifier, and I almost wish. Again, I'm a judging and assuming a lot based off this interaction. I don't have the full context, but in situations like that, I really would prefer if people be like, "This is my like identifier."
Yeah, I'm with you. But like when you see the type of life he live,
Yeah,
you're like, he's kind of built his life around this idea. Like, I can guarantee you right now, Lano is in the woods somewhere
oh, see, so then
right now, like collecting some spiritual water.
I'm not mad at it. All right, so with that context, I'm definitely not mad at it because again, him having a compass is gonna matter way more,
Bruh, like,
for his lifestyle for sure.
for his lifestyle, like, bro, he's one of the most amazing people I've ever met. Like,
Word.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
My bad, bro. I'm talking a whole lot of shit. I have no context of who you are. Your
he
existence.
think you're in the Matrix, bro. Like he think you chose red pill. No, blue pill was the dangerous one, right? Who knows? He think you chose the wrong pill, bro. Like, nah, he's definitely like a left worlder. Like we used to buy like kombucha from this nigga, dude, back in the days. Like, he used to ever make this other little joint, like my boy Greg would buy for his grandmother. Like, cause that joint would just
clean the system,
bro. Like, he one of them guys. He like
Yeah.
a different guy.
Now he need to wear that compass.
But we do. But back to John and Beatty though. He talks about that though in his work when he talks about the concept of time. Like, he's like, you know, most people in other cultures don't live like hour by hour. They don't have that type of relationship with time.
Word.
Where it's like, oh, at 11:30, I'm gonna do this. 11:45, I'm gonna do this. Like, he go into like this community with like herders, and like their whole day wasn't determined by them; it was determined by their sheep.
Word.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like meet me at the sheep's breakfast or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Like, and like their whole day went according to like what their task was or what their role is over the day.
So I'll say this: as much as I was talking shit about the whole compass thing,
He was talking big shit, but this is what I deal with this guy, bro.
When soon you said it, I think I fundamentally believe the system of like the idea of direction is way more important than time.
Yeah, man.
Because like,
but that go back to your point. Like the point I'm saying is, it was a podcast I did, and the guy on the podcast, I think it was Biz podcast, and they were talking about like time and time
Biz,
spent.
we gonna be homies one day. I promise you that. I'm gonna stop trolling in your comments. We gonna be homies.
Let me trolling the Biz comments. They going like, and this is a really popular post. Like, this is one of the posts that go viral. Right. So Laemy gets to talking about like, it's not just about like spending time. He goes like, somebody could go in the studio and be in there for days, months, and hours, and it never pays off. Like, and then somebody else can be in there for a fraction of the time, figure out the how-to system, and then literally get a return on their investment. And got you. And that was so big. That just was so gratifying. Like, so, but like, that's when a situation where direction is more important than time.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, knowing what you're doing in a situation will save you a lot of time.
Man, this is such a this is a serendipitous
serendipitous. Shakira, could you put a definition at the bottom of this video of serendipitous? Thank you.
I say that to say because I'm consistent. I think that's what I did. We're conversations going where it needs to go.
Yeah, y'all, they used to it.
Yeah. And I'm enjoying the conversation. There's things that I unlock in real time, but the thing that I appreciate is that like my relationship with time and how I view time, because this is what the conversation has kind of evolved into, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we start from talking about how did we meet each other and talk about the time spent, and then the overall like concept of this conversation surrounds about time. But my relationship with time has been pretty consistent, and you bringing up something I totally forgot, even me trolling in the comments ladders up to that main point of me saying like, yeah, time is kind of like whatever, the usage of time, your relationship with time, but I do center around the whole concept of direction, because I think the idea of direction centers around the concept of being present.
And it gets to another point that I write about a lot. It goes to a point of centering,
Mm.
like to understand where you're at, to understand all the available paths available to you, like to know which way is up, which way is down, which way is north, which way is west, which way is south, which way is east, means that you're settled.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
I actually really love that. I've never thought about it in that way, but I love it because I often will say to people like, they ask me like, "Are you a confident person?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm a fairly confident person." And sometimes they'll ask me like, "What makes you feel like you're a good man, right?" And what I find myself constantly saying is that the person that I want to become and the person that I am, they may be steps or even miles apart, but they're on the same path. They're in alignment.
Say that again.
The man that I want to become and the man who I am, they may be miles apart, they may be steps apart, but they're on the same path. They're in alignment. That's when I feel the most confident. That's when I can affirm myself that I'm a good man, because the person that I want to be is like straight ahead. I
You
can
don't be
see it.
knowing how connected you are, bro. Spiritually, man.
Mm.
Spiritually, you're very connected to the ancestors, bro. The ancestors really speak through you. Like it's an article. I'm gonna send it to you, but it's called Mayat, and it's Mayat, the cultural and intellectual allegiance of a concept.
Mm.
The cultural intellectual allegiance of a concept. That's the practice and idea of a concept being aligned
Mm.
by one. Like, so back then they believed that you either practice Mayat or Isfet.
Okay.
Mayat is, let's just think about the seven virtues: reciprocity, righteousness, justice, order, balance.
Mm-hmm.
Isfet is disorder, chaos. So in your actions, you're either practicing Mayat or you're practicing Isfet.
Mm.
You're either practicing order or you're practicing chaos.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're either practicing balance or you're practicing disorder. You know what I'm saying? Disruption. And when you're teaching a pharaoh, you're teaching a pharaoh how to practice Mayat in all of their actions.
Mm.
You know, like how to have this allegiance between a moral ideal and a practical ideal at the same
Oh,
time.
no, I'm gonna need that article because that sounds like my core philosophies. Like
What you just said, bro, like it ties into that so much, because it's like, what is the source of energy behind your behavior?
mm-hmm.
Like, what fuels your behavior? You know, like what is the fuel? What are you running on? Like, certain things to me are 93 premium. Other things to me are 87 unleaded. You know what I mean?
Word.
Like what motivates you, what
For
drives
sure.
you. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times children change people's lives because now their motivations change.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now even though they might have been insecure in how they feel about themselves, they know how they feel about that child.
Interesting.
Like I can center my life around that.
Mm.
I can center my life around what I created more so easy than I can center my life around myself.
That's that is I see that. I see that in other people for sure. But you saying that out loud just made me like had a whiplash moment, because something that I've said vehemently with my wife is that this baby is going to be this baby is going to hover around us. It's going to be in our orbit. We're not going to be in the baby's orbit. Like at the end of the day, this baby's going to be centered to us. Um, we are the ones who are like forging the path forward. So like I don't ever want to be in a space where I'm making decisions contingent upon baby first. Like baby's always in consideration for sure. But I gotta make sure that if I'm gonna truly show up for my baby, I have to truly show up for myself first.
Yeah. Let me tell you how you capping.
I was so serious.
Let me tell you how you capping.
All right, here we go. It's hilarious, but
We were supposed to meet at 8 p.m. today.
Word. But all right. To
like,
that point,
y'all orbit. One thing about this is my godchild as well. One thing about my god baby, y'all 1000%.
So I hear what you're saying.
Like,
right? I'm not mad at what you're saying, but what I'll say to that is that true, like concessions are made, but with all that being said, if I was truly anchoring like my direction around my child, then I wouldn't be here, because the reality is I tried to put the baby down, right? But then the baby wasn't being put down, and putting the baby down was like my responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Marlene, "Hey, I need you to come and put the baby down because I gotta go." And so, as I was leaving, I'm hearing my wife, and God bless her, she's an amazing soul, going through it with my daughter, and I know that I'm just going to have to pay that back forward later. But again, it's one of those things where being here, it's not to, I would never put my child in jeopardy. Like I would never put them in this position where like they'd be in harm's way. But being here was important for my existence, and in order for me to go to the path of where I need to be going, I needed to have this conversation, and therefore,
But baby still has to be squared away.
oh, for sure,
Before.
but again, that's why I say, like, don't get it twisted. Baby will never be neglected. Baby's considered, right? Baby is always considered.
The fact that we refer to baby as baby is just funny as hell to me, bro.
Baby will be considered, but if I don't tread those waters, right? Then it comes back to that
1000%.
concept
I
of being a
definitely think
great
it's
man.
important that you maintain a level of self, in the entire process.
For sure.
Like I told you, after the baby was born, I don't really give a fuck about y'all no more. Like y'all cool, but if it came down to y'all or baby, like.
But that's why you're the godparent. But that's why you're the godparent. So I'm glad. If anything, that's the best affirmation I've ever gotten for my decision. Yeah, keep it that way.
No, that's real. But just to circle back in the combo, like this journey, bro, like that I'm on is so conflicting. Like, because I don't know where things are going to end up. Like I want to say that, yeah, I'll just be a jeweler for the rest of my life.
Not true.
But then I say, can I really define myself as a jeweler now? Like,
Exactly
is
my
the thing you're most known for
no,
like the thing that you should be defined by?
no.
You know, like you know me behind the scenes. Like, I genuinely feel like I'm like 7 places at one time at all times.
Because you are.
You know, like really,
I mean, to be an entrepreneur of a business at your scale, you quite literally have to be 7 places at once.
your facts. But that's just the
And,
entrepreneurship
and
side.
that's kind of my point.
You know
And
what I'm
that's
saying?
just the entrepreneur side. That does not touch on
The other components of
on
my life. You know what I
exactly.
mean? That some are even more demanding.
I feel like if you're doing life right, the life outside of work should always be more demanding than the work. If you're doing life right, doesn't mean you give
Facts.
it the attention, but sometimes it can be more demanding than
Facts. But I don't even think that jewelry is my most profound skill set.
it's not.
You know,
It's a
like
vehicle.
it's a vehicle for sure. Like I just had a moment earlier today. I'm just gonna pivot into
Word.
like so I'm teaching a summer class and I'm teaching the communications 101 course and a philosophy professor is teaching a philosophy 101 course and students will take both classes and me and the philosophy professor will share a theme for the class.
Mm.
So the theme is shaking out to be like the power of uh, language and other things, right? And so we had a planning meeting at 2 o'clock today that I didn't have on my calendar.
Mm.
I knew it was coming though. I just knew it was going to be before the second.
Okay.
So I was supposed to have some things achieved before this meeting.
Word.
I look at my email this morning and I'm like, oh snaps, like the meeting is in 2 hours.
Mm.
On the way home, I'm on a FaceTime and I'm just like, damn, I got this meeting. But by the time the meeting came around, I was so prepared.
That sounds like exactly my day today, to be honest with you. But keep going. Keep
Well,
cooking.
I was so prepared. Like we're planning out 5 weeks, and I don't know if it was divine, like just how the ideas I had, like they created this joint Google Doc with all of what he's planning on teaching over the 5 weeks, his lectures and his everything. And like my spot was empty. So like it's 10 minutes beforehand and I'm just entering all of the different, books I was thinking, articles I was thinking about in the car to the joint, bro. It was like so perfect. Like
Mm-hmm.
whereas I'm explaining the overlap and like it got to a point of the other professor's like, yeah, Professor Rich, they don't call me Professor Rich, but Professor
Yeah, I
Rich,
get you.
I definitely think I can change a couple of things, like to really take things to the next level, bro. Because there was so much overlap. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so much overlap in between the things that he was doing and the things that just came to my head, bro. Like I say all that to say, like it's like, what are you most prepared for?
Mm.
Like if a very important task came about tomorrow, like what are you most what tools do you have naturally without knowing the task at hand that you can readily approach and handle and at the very least ideate and strategize a plan for success, like, and that becomes like the thing,
Word.
I mean, but maybe I'm just gloating because I definitely feel like any jewelry problem can definitely get handled as well. But
No, but I get what you're saying. I mean, jewelry is a trade, but that's not necessarily that's not you. You're really good at jewelry because of the other skill sets that you've built and the character types and the wisdom that you have that transfers into your trade because I can identify with what you're describing.
I think it's the same for you. Like
Yeah.
you're in touch with the community and a lot of communities.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're it's not even it's I have read a quote earlier that said a a diverse cultures create strong no, it's what did it say? It said the diverse communities create collective power.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that you create collective power.
Mm. I appreciate that.
You know, like it's so diverse. Like all of your brands that you guys work on, like they're so collective. Like it's so inviting to a diverse population of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like people thought that my company was like owned by non-black foreigners
Mm.
for the longest time. Just because of remember we had a conversation like, yo, bro, I think the branding too clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. No, for sure.
you know what I mean? So like, yo, this shit too luxurious.
Word. Word. No, it's funny you say that because a quick tangent. Vel, the person that introduced us, right, the artist, I do his branding, right, a lot of his creative direction. And in the beginning, we learned that a lot of people didn't want to support because they felt like he was signed already because the quality of his content didn't match to who he was as
Hmm.
the scale of artist he was. So people just felt like, oh, this feels like a label already. Like there's no come up here. Like I don't feel like I'm supporting an artist on the come up. It just feels like, oh, this guy's lit already. So I received that. That's often something I run into is where like, okay, this is too scaled up. We need to kind of scale down and build back up. Which is kind of a blessing to be in a position of. But to like the point that you were making before, you know, I don't I do not identify myself as a designer. Um, I rarely define myself as an artist. I if I have to describe what I do for a living, I'll point to like creative director, senior art director. But even then, I really shy away from trying to describe myself as such. But if the identifier that does bring me great joy is that I bring communities together. I do think that's something that I do. Um, But if there was something that I had to be identified for, right, that wasn't any of those things, is that I'm a nurturer. I think that's what it is. Like nurture, I nurture energy, I nurture people, and because I'm a great nurturer and have a lot of patience embedded within me, um, it allows me to dive deep into whatever that I'm creating for. So in the process of creating for something, I'm trying to understand what is the value of this creation? What does it feed? What's the purpose? Who's going to consume it? Who's going to interact with it? Why is it important for that person? How does the person feel when they do interact with it? And I'm just really doing character profiles in my head because at the end of the day, I want to make sure whatever I'm doing is landing. Like it doesn't matter what it is that I'm doing, but I just want to make sure that if I'm doing something that is connecting because at the end of the day we're all seeking connection and validation. So in anything that I'm creating, I'm just trying to create like a vehicle for affirmation at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
that's real. That's real. And you achieve it, man.
I appreciate that.
You achieve it. You achieve it. We got archives. We got serious archives, man. But nah, bro. I almost feel sad that this is our first conversation because this should be like the second or third,
Word.
man. We gotta make sure we tap back in.
Yeah, man. It's funny because as we're doing this, I'm like, bro, I don't even like we need to do at least 5, just
At
at
least
least
5
5,
to
right?
really be able to get into some things. Cause I mean, I know we need to get. We don't get into. I don't get into recent events.
Yeah.
I don't. You know me. I don't have no time to talk about recent
I don't
events.
care about recent events
You
either.
don't care about recent events.
But I think we have so much the and it's gonna sound like almost like I'm sucking myself off here, but I think we've accomplished so much that it's worth talking about. Like I think there's so
Yeah.
many things that are worth exploring because it was through us working and accomplishing so much that a friendship built, that a true family relationship is built. And it's not just about like, oh man, we built this amazing relationship. It's what is the impact of the relationship that we built. I feel like that's worth talking about because there's so
Yeah.
many things that we've accomplished just by depositing into one another. And there's so many nuggets and there's so many things that we've learned along the way that it's almost it's hard to have any type of conversation with you because it just
Yeah. Like when we in public, we don't talk to each other.
I don't know if that's true, but
We don't. We don't. Because we know the conversation gonna go left. And if we start talking, the conversation's going left.
I mean, we definitely size each other up, and we call each other out on bullshit, and we'll just say things here and there, and to derail the other person from speaking.
Yes, to stop it before it even begins. Like that's usually how our public discourse goes. Like, because we think so much alike, but we are always on opposite ends of the spectrum. Like literally on every subject, and on the things you would think that I would be the canceled one, it'd be
That's
him.
not true.
And on the things that, because I know, like, I know my days are numbered. Like
Oh,
it's
man.
just it's a lot of conversations I don't have, bro, because they gonna cancel me.
I don't. There's a lot of conversations I don't have because I just don't think they're worth. Like how we talk about dirty time. I feel like some conversations are dirty time.
I mean, I'm gonna give people the conversation after I publish the book. Like,
Word.
all press gotta be good press. Y'all not about to talk bad about me without having a book about something. Like,
But I hope. It's funny. I know we're coming to a close, right? We're like over an hour.
It's cool, bro. I know the owner.
Facts. I just hope that this is it's worthwhile to whomever is listening. I know you're the audience at that,
bro. We the audience, bro.
I know that.
We the audience, bro. I can't, bro. I let go of I let go of trying like to bring value to people. Like, I'm gonna share my value.
That's fair.
If you found value in it, great. If you don't see the value that I am bringing forth, then like, bro, please go back to listening to Joe Button.
Hey, wait, don't be. See, that's why I can't fuck with you, bro. Like we had to throw no shots, bro.
I wasn't no shot. That wasn't no shot. It's just everybody is so many different kinds of businesses.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Like Walmart sells so many different types of products. Like I'm in Walmart too. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, dog.
I know you. That's not a shot, bro. Like
I know you, bro. Like
that's not a shot, bro.
That's like euphoria right there. Like the way you just line that up, like it's not a shot, but if you take it as a shot, it's a shot for sure.
I don't care if it's taken as a shot.
Even the way that you just the comparison, right?
But I could have named 100 podcasts. It's a credit to, I could say, academics. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, any you got places that you go for immediate value.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Is places you can go for somebody who's going to be talking about something that's relevant to you right now.
I like the
Like
cleanup.
that's
I like the cleanup.
that's the cleanup, bro.
I
But
like
that's just
it.
it. Like the stuff I'm talking about on this show might not bring you no value tomorrow. Honestly, it might not ever bring you no value until you sit your ass down and think about some stuff. Like, you know what I mean? That's seemingly not like I don't make right now music. Like to the point where like I don't even know. I don't even be knowing why I have a podcast. Like that's why I don't even promote it that much because it's like I could, I could. Actually, I was doing really well when I was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, everybody got podcasts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's how it feels. But then I realized like recently, you guys made me realize this. It's like we have something to say even though we don't know who we talking to.
Mm.
So the most important thing is to say it and to practice saying it because you'll get better at it.
Man, that is such a beautiful place to kind of like end it, because that's what art is about, right? Like you don't know who's going to receive it. You don't know how people are going to receive it. It kind of doesn't even matter who's the recipient. It's about you think what you have is important enough for the world to experience.
Yes.
And at some point the world will experience it. And you can't control how the world will experience it, but it's important for the world to receive it.
Facts. And it's not even that. I feel like I feel like I have something that is a part of the world.
I like that. And the world is just working through you to bring it out.
And maybe they don't discover it yet. Like the beautiful thing about artists is most of them don't get popping until they dead.
It's starting to change. It's starting to change.
Not really.
It's starting to change. I think there's just so much that we have a back catalog that we have to get through, but there's a lot of art that's being appreciated in real time.
It's impossible. It's impossible. Because you're always going to have contemporary artists that are appreciated, that are popular in life. But the geniuses of an era are always found with 2020 vision.
Damn it. Because that's just a whole nother thing I want to like,
That's what
in.
we
Yeah.
gonna leave that one there.
Yeah,
we gonna
bro.
leave that one there. Hey,
Bro.
listen, but for real though, for the people who did, I know I talk a lot of shit, but like the people who do take time to sit down and listen to me talk to, these amazing people that I've crossed paths with, like I'm truly appreciative of y'all. Like truly, 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 truly. I know, like I said earlier, like it's so many different things grabbing at you guys' attention. It's so many places and voices, trying to get you to consume what it is that they are selling.
That's hilarious. This is the flow that everyone bit off
of. Hey yo, peace, love, and light. On that note, we out. The words of a great philosopher once said, I'm Quagmire, I giggity. Peace.